Hi guys, I am Maria from Little Maria's Crafts, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a felt flower. Okay, so first we're going to go ahead and pull up our flower template that we want, and mine is going to be about 8.5 by 9.233 inches. And the reason I made it that big is because the felt that I'm going to be using for my flowers is about I believe it's about 9.5. Yeah, it's 9.5 inches by probably about 12 of length, but the flower is going to be circular, so I don't want it to be anything bigger than, you know, the 9.5. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. Okay, and then I go ahead and I put it on my Cricut mat, which I'm going to use my Cricut Maker for. And in order to save the mat, I've been using this hack where I use contact paper. You know, I use like the most inexpensive Dollar Tree brand of contact paper, and I've cut it down to the size of my mat, because these Cricut mats, they get they're sticky, so all this felt, all these little fibers from the felt get stuck to my mat usually, and they kind of ruin it right away. So I've kind of started using this method, and it's worked out pretty well for me so far. So then I go ahead and add my felt to it. I'm going to try to do this with one hand. So you want to add the contact paper with the sticky side up, and then you peel off the backing that it comes on so that you can stick your felt to it, and then just rub real good and go ahead and get it stuck on there pretty good. Okay, and then you're going to use your Cricut to cut it out. So then you're going to send it to make on here. Okay, and I make sure that, you know, I have enough space on my felt here to the edge, which is on mine it's about a 9-inch to 9.5 on the bottom, which I do have enough for. And then I'm gonna go ahead and do I'm gonna go ahead and push continue on there, and I'm gonna select my Cricut Maker. And then you want to go on here and select your fabric. I like to select something heavy. It does have a felt button on there, but I feel like it doesn't cut deep enough. And so you're going to want to switch to your rotary blade on here, and okay. And then now let's go back up here. I'm doing this with one hand, so bear with me, please. And then you're gonna feed it through. Make sure it goes on there. And you want to make sure that your rotary tool is on clamp B, and it's nice and secure on there. Okay, and then you're gonna push the blinking button to make it. Sorry for the shadow. Okay, and you're gonna unload it. Okay. Now you're gonna peel it off. And this is really neat. And it did cut through my contact paper, but it's okay because now my mat is saved. So you just unstick it from there and you have your whole pattern. Okay, so this pattern, I cut it out on my Cricut machine, and so I got it ready for you guys to see. And it's just a simple rose that I'm going to be making, and it's cut on the round. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to start on the outside of the petals, and you are going to basically just roll it onto each other. So the inside petals are going to be smaller and a little bit tighter, and you want to just keep rolling, and you're going to want to be kind of shaping your flower to where it's not rolled up too tightly where you're not going to be able to see your petals, but you do actually want to roll to keep it together on the bottom. So you're going to want to roll it tightly on the bottom where it's even, all flat on the bottom, and then just keep rolling. And then if you want to, in between here, you can take the bottom part and glue with your hot glue kind of in between. Be careful not to burn yourself. So I just put a little bit of glue on the bottom so that it kind of keeps all of those layers just together. I'm going to be adding a whole lot more glue at the end to keep it all together, but for now it's just to help me hold it together so that this middle piece doesn't come out. But I'm just rolling, and I'm kind of making sure that my petals are lining up pretty good and that it's kind of looking like a flower as I go. Not too tightly, but also not too loose. And you also kind of want to make sure that your petals are not all lining up together in the same spot. You kind of want to alternate them a little bit, so where it's going to make some little peaks and valleys right here in between the petals. You're going to push it a little bit if you're, oh, my glue's still a little bit sticky, but you're going to want to push the middle down if it's starting to make like a cone shape. You want to keep this, try to keep this as flat as possible. Okay, I'm coming up to the end. Okay, and the end, which was the exact middle part, it's cut in a little circle. So that piece is what you're going to use to cover up down here at the bottom, just to give you a flat surface to glue onto whatever surface you're going to glue it to. So now that I'm done here, what I want to do is, before I glue the circle down, I'm going to go ahead and with my hot glue just put a little bit of glue on the very bottom of that last petal, and then just kind of put it all together. And then I have like a half petal right here. That's probably not, I don't want to glue it down just yet because I want to make sure that I have enough room so that I can flip this to the middle without it looking funny. If I glue it down the way it goes, it might not lay my circle completely down. You see that? You can see where it won't lay exactly right in the middle. So I want to leave it to where I can move it around still. And then I'm going to place my circle in the middle. But first, before I glue it, I want to make sure that all my petals are looking okay here. And I think they are. So I'm going to go ahead and take my glue gun. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put a lot of glue, which I want to make sure that I glue all of my petals down. So I'm going to make a couple, like an X shape. Being careful not to get the glue on the outside of the flower. But this is just going to ensure me that I'm going to get all of my layers glued down. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of extra around the circle. And then I'm going to go ahead and put down my little circle flap on there. Okay, so that's glued down nice and secure. And I feel like my flower's not going to come apart if I pull on it, because all of those layers are glued in together with this bottom piece now. So now all you want to do is take it and you're just going to flatten it out, and there you go. You have a beautiful felt flower. You can embellish it any way you want. I cut one of these felt leaves, which I can show you guys real quick how I make these as well. I went ahead and cut, let me go ahead and cut one for you guys. So this shape right here, I just kind of mimicked a leaf shape. I didn't use a pattern or anything. I didn't use my Cricut. And I just went around and I cut this shape pretty much to look like a leaf. Doesn't have to be perfect. You just want that basic shape of your leaf, okay? Now what I did is I went in, and I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but on this one right here, I made a little bit of indentions on the sides. And that's just to give it a little bit extra texture. It doesn't have to be done. You can leave it just straight the way it is, but I went ahead and added that. So let me show you how I did that. So the leaf, this is going to be my point on the top, outside of the leaf. This is the bottom that I want to glue down to my flower. So I'm going to go ahead and cut upwards into it, and I'm just going to go ahead and cut a little bitty triangle out of it. Okay, and I want to just go up on my leaf a little bit at a time, just where I feel like they look right. Okay, you want to use some sharp scissors for this, because felt is a fabric, so if you don't have sharp scissors, it won't cut very well. Okay, let me try one more right up here, just a small one. Okay, okay, there it goes. Now on the other one, I just flipped it around and it did the exact same thing. Okay, just a few spots. Little triangles. This side's not working out as well as I want it to. Okay. There it is. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and make a little slit down the middle to about halfway up my leaf. Okay, just like that. Okay, now what I'm gonna do on that slit is I want to put a little bit of hot glue along one of the edges. Okay. And then now I'm gonna fold my leaf in half. Just like that. and try to hold it until the glue dries. Just be careful not to burn yourself because sometimes glue does come out of the bottom. Just until it all dries up. And the glue gun that I'm using is the Lynn Lily by Surebonder. I believe you can order it online at surebonder.com, but this is not sponsored. But just in case I get any questions about it. They do have other colors. This one is just the Lynn Lily edition that I have. Okay, so now that it's all dry, I'm going to go ahead and glue this other one. That way I can show you guys real quick. But you can add it to your project just the way it is. Now, I don't know if you're going to be adding more flowers. It depends. So the ones that I cut were about 8.5 or 8 3/4. The circle was about 8 3/4. But you can do many sizes depending on your felt. The Cricut only cuts up to a 12-inch, so, or 11.5 inch, I believe. So you can make this a little bit bigger. So this one was cut at an 8.5 inch or 8 3/4 inch. And it made about this size, which is about, it's probably about 3 or 3.5 inches wide all the way around. So, I mean, just to give you guys a perspective on how big it is. Okay, and then I made a smaller one here. And this one was about, I believe this one was cut at a 6 inch. And this one is only about 2.5 inches. So you can kind of see the difference of the two. Okay. Anyway, so here is my leaves already done. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and split it right here. And that's where I would add my glue. I'm not going to glue this one because I'm going to be using it for a project. But I would just kind of split it right here in the middle. And this is where I would add my glue to glue it onto my project, to my flower. So it gives you the illusion that it's a leaf, and it kind of gives it a dimensional look because of that split you made in the middle. Okay, so you can add as many as you want. You can embellish them however you want as well. I made these as well here, these little clusters. So, I mean, the possibilities are endless with these. You can do whatever you want. You can add as many colors as you want, and of leaves and of flowers. So there it is. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys like my channel and consider subscribing to it, and share it. Thank you so much. Bye.